Hey up. So as I said, I'm going to show you what I'm going to take with me tonight. Now it is going to be around about -4, -5 with quite a lot of snow showers coming. So we'll start off with my little pack. Inside my pack, I've got a new little gadget. It's an anemometer. I can't even say it. It's basically a temperature gauge with a wind speed generator on there, so it can give you the wind chill as well. So I'm going to take that to use that for the first time tonight. Then I've got my mini pump from Flex Tail Gear. Now this is the new one, so it's a little bit more compact, but it also works as a light as well. So if you press hold and hold on it, so the bottom lights up, and then obviously you've got a little pump if you want it to be. So I don't want to use any of that up. I've got a spare battery pack, because you never know what your battery is going to be like, because it's going to be really, really cold. So that's fully charged up. And as I'm trying to slim down a little bit, one little chocolate bar, because I've got a funny feeling I'm going to be stuck inside my tent for quite a while tonight. So I'll put that away, and I'll show you what else we got. That was Monty. So I'm back again. So starting from the very bottom, what I've got here is a piece of insulation foam. Now I think it's sound insulation, but what I'll do is when I get the tent set up tonight, I'll put that underneath everything, so it gives you a little bit more of a barrier between the ground and yourself. So it also protects everything. It's like protects you from small little spikes that potentially damage your air mat. But anyway, that's a really good investment. It's about the same size as the footprint for my MSR Elixir 2 and the Cloudpeak that I'm taking tonight, and it also for the same size as my Pioneer 2. But because I'm going to be stuck in it for quite a while, I'm going to take the Cloudpeak because it's slightly bigger porches than the Pioneer and the wind isn't going to be too bad. So this fits in all three of those tents with about 2 or 3 inches around the sides, just so it definitely fits into all three. So that's coming. Then the Cloudpeak 2 that you know about, that I've told that you've seen before in a few videos. So that's coming too. Then once I'm inside that, you need an insulated mat for this type of year. So this is quite a large one, and it's very, very comfortable. But I've slept in this down to -4, and you don't feel the cold coming up from underneath you. So yeah, them are a big investment. Now, something I didn't buy last winter, I bought at the end of the winter when the sales were on, is a set of crashing cymbals. Now that's my long spoon that I'll come to in a minute. But I've got myself the RAB 1100 Ascent sleeping bag. So this will take me down to at least -15. So when this one's puffed right up, it's the comfiest sleeping bag I've got. I have got a 3-season bag and a 2-season bag for different times of the year. But for tonight, where we are going, this is going to be perfect. Put that over there. Now, being as I think I'm going to be stuck in my tent and I'm not going to have too much ventilation, I was intending to use my new MSR Whisperlight Universal, but because I'm scared of the fumes that it could potentially give off and the amount of time it might be on, I've decided to go with a Jetboil Sumo. So everybody's seen the Jetboils. So the beauty with these is you can put a tin of fuel in, then you've got your burner, and that's more or less your unit done. And it's quite stable, so you can use it inside the porch of your tent, but make sure you keep the flames away from everything. So I've got that. Spare gas, because you never know. Now these are the extreme gases, so they're a little bit better in this kind of temperature. So hopefully we'll be okay with that. Now, food-wise for tonight, because I'm going to be using the Sumo, I've got 2 options. I've got an option of real termite dehydrated food, which you've seen before. It's probably the best and the most flavoursome dehydrated food I've ever come across, and I've tried quite a few. So I might have that, and that's the chicken tikka masala flavour. Give me a sec. Now these are the homemade boil in the bag ones. Now this is beef stew, and I've got another one that's defrosting through in the kitchen, and I'm not sure what that is. But I'm going to take 3 with me just to see what kind of see what kind of a mood I'm in, but I don't know what the other one is, so that one's potluck, so I'll probably go for that one. Another thing for my comfort is I've tried so many different pillows and I go for two. This one is a memory foam pillow and it's from Decathlon. We'll give it 15 minutes and it pumps up and it's really, really cozy. Oh, almost reach it. Then a big set of thermals. Now these are military thermals. Now that's what they call in the military softy jacket. So there's a softy jacket and a softy pair of trousers in case I get really cold. I probably won't need these, but if I go and I don't take them and I do need them, whole world of trouble. Now I keep those inside a Thermarest stuff sack that I bought last year. Now this stuff sack converts into a pillow because it's got soft material on the inside, but you can just use it as a storage bag, as you saw me take the stuff out of, while you're getting to where you're going camping. So I'll put that away and then I'll show you the last couple of bits. So the last couple of bits I'm taking tonight, obviously water, because I'm going to be using boiling the bag or rehydrating something. This is a tiny little metal table that you've seen me on some of my videos before. Now it's not the high table, it's a low one, because obviously I'm going to be more or less lying down most of the night. So it's a small little table that sits about 3 inches above the ground. So you'll see that one later. Just pop that away. Then something that you've not seen in one of my videos before, but I'm sure you've seen them in the past, is because it's going to be a little bit cold, I'm going to see whether this is going to change the inside temperature of my tent, and I can track that with a thermometer later on. So what it is one of those Yuko small candle lanterns. So it's going to give me some light, but hopefully it's going to give me some heat as well. So I'll pop that away. Now the candles on this should run for 9 hours, but I have got some spare candles just in case. And here I've got some little down booties, so if my feet get cold I can pop them on too. And all of this has got to fit into my Ether 70 litre Osprey rucksack. Shouldn't be a problem. Oh yeah, I mustn't forget my long spoon. Anyway, I'm going to get all this packed up because I'm sure Dave's going to be pestering me in a minute to see when we're going to get set off. So I'll get packed up. So I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence. I'm just going to show you how I start off packing my bag. So inside my rucksack, I've got a waterproof stuff sack. So if your bag does leak, everything that's important to you, particularly your insulation, like your sleeping bag and your bedding, if it goes in here, it's going to stay dry. So before I put that in, the bulky item, it's also important, I always shove that right at the back against my back, because it's nice and soft. So if there is anything that's quite pointy or an irregular shape in your rucksack, it's not going to hurt your back. So pop that in, and then this will go in behind that. One last tip, or maybe I'll give you a couple more in a bit, is the things that I'm going to get out last, I tend to put at the bottom so that you're not picking things out and then putting them down on the wet ground. So the last thing I'm going to be unpacking tonight, potentially, is going to be the sleeping bag. So I'll pop that in first. Now if you notice, I've not stuffed it into a normal stuff sack that it comes with. It all goes in here because it fills in all the nooks and crannies, so you're not putting in like loads of different boxes and then you'll have loads of areas where there's gaps. So if you do it this way, you actually end up getting more bang for your buck into your bag. So with it being a down sleeping bag, it folds up, it squeezes away to nothing. So the next thing that's going to go in is going to be my softy jacket. Now that's in there, although it is in one of those bags, it's not compressed, so it will squash down even more once I popped it in here. Now for my mat. Hello. Give that now its final squash down. And seal the bag up. Now all your other hard, dry bits and pieces can be put in around the place, and then anything that you're not worried about getting wet because it's a waterproof item, if you need to, you can strap it on the outside. Anyway, I'm going to finish my packing, and I'll catch you when I get out the car with Dave. So I'll see you soon. As you can see, we're hoping to do a snowy camp tonight, but I've come a bit further down towards the coast, so we might not be lucky. The snow will fall, but whether it sticks or not, we don't know. Another thing I'm going to do tonight is I put up a competition of a giveaway of the Nightcat Hammock tent, and I'm going to draw that halfway through the video tonight. So I took a list of how many people entered, and I'm going to get one of them random number generators and then pick somebody from that. So good luck to you, and check out later in the video and I'll find out who's won. Hey up, so the man himself's here. He was only 5 minutes late today, which for him is a record. That's actually classed as being early. Anyway, we're going to get ourselves off and I'll see you in a bit. Ta. So we finally got here. As you can see, there's no snow left, but them clouds are just full of it. It's quite cold. It's about 2 degrees, but that's going to drop. So we're going to get ourselves all set up there. I don't know if you can hear that, but the noise coming from the sea is quite loud. Anyway, let's get down this cliff and get set up. As you can see, sleet, hail, all sorts. Anyway, less gassing, time to get this shelter up. So I'm going to shove that Cloudpeak 2 up as fast as I can. Catch you in a minute. So as you can see, it's all set up nice and tight. So now it's time to get the inside set up. Now remember, the video that I did earlier on showed you all the way I do stuff. So everything's in the bag, that stayed nice and dry. And when I bring it out, I'll bring it out in the order more or less that I put it in. Hey up! Bloody horrible out here! Let's bring that in and shut that weather out. Whoa. Right then, time to unpack. So I'll take my hat off for a bit. So then, time to get this little pump to blow this air mat up. Saves loads of blowing. Anyway, here we go. See you in a minute. So there we go. Total time for that was 1 minute 30 seconds. And What I will do though, just before you go to bed at night, because it gets colder, the air seems to like compress slightly or isn't got much volume, so you will need to blow it up just before you go to bed. But we're getting everything ready, so close that off. Next, to get the sleeping bag out. However, this I can hang up here. This is going to be one of my lamps for tonight. So remember my pillow, so that's the Decathlon pillow. That's the pillow that's made up using my softy clothing, which is another set of thermals, but I'll probably not need those. The important thing is to get your sleeping bag out so that it lofts up. There's no point leaving it in your bag until the last minute before you go to bed, because it'll take quite a while to loft up, so you're not going to get the benefit of having the proper down feathers. That's my tip anyway. Right then, so there's my anemometer, and it's currently saying it is 4 degrees centigrade. Outside it'd be a little bit cooler than that, but it is going to drop off. But tonight I'm going to be plenty comfy, because I'm in my RAB Ascent 1100 down sleeping bag, so that's going to be really toasty. Underneath it, I've got the thermal climate air mat, which is going to keep hold of cold from underneath. And then to back that up, I've got this, which is another lifesaver. What a tip I normally have, I have 2 head torches, and I dangle them off something, so that if something happens in the night, I'm not scrambling around trying to find one, because there's one here and one there, and I always have a backup. Then I've got my little box of tricks in there with my chocolate bar and my battery. And then I've got my little brew station that's over here. So I've got my sumo and plenty of water tonight because I'm not drinking. And then I've got my coffee cup. Anyway, let's go and have a look outside now we're all set up. As you can see, it is quite windy. Just measured it on this and it gets to about 15 miles an hour. I think that's probably about 17 knots or something, but it's quite blustery, but it's only going to get worse throughout the night. What I'm going to do, I'll give you a spin round so you can see into the big cave. Now that one I showed you on the video when we got disturbed by those hippies, that's about 100 meters long, and there's a smaller one that goes straight through, and then you've got the Moray Firth, which sometimes it can be like a pond with not a ripple on it at all. However, today it looks quite angry. Anyway, I'm going to have a quick walk on the beach. You coming with me? Yeah. See you in a minute. It's getting quite cold now, so I'm going to make myself a coffee. The wind's picking up quite a lot, so I'm trying to find Dave. So Dave's tying his guy ropes onto his tent. So I'm going to get in there, and while I'm making this cup of coffee, I'll talk to you a little bit more about the giveaway of the Nightcat Hammock tent. So here we are, time to get a brew on. The beauty with these Jetboil jobs is that it's quite quick, so I'll get that on, and then I'll tell you about this giveaway that I did. There's not that much water in it, so it won't take too long. So yeah, I think in the spring I was given the Nightcat Hammock tent that I did a video on and a review on it. I actually think it's going to be better to be used as a hooped bivvy on the ground rather than a hammock. But everybody's got their own different opinions, and that's what I think it is. So I put a little video out yesterday or so, and I got quite a few responses because I'm really trying to get to them 1,000 subscribers. I know there's people who've got 40, 50,000 subscribers, like a pal of mine, English Woodman, he's over 50. Then Oscar Outdoors, he's doing really well as well. Vegan Outdoors is Dan from that, he's got loads. So I'm really trying hard. Just depends what people want to see. Now, I normally do, as you know, the cooking videos, which I'm going to go back to those because I really prefer doing those. You can see my breath now, so it's getting really cold. So I think this is going to be a quick brew of that, chat to Dave and then zip the tent up. Anyway, let's get back to that. So I think, well, it was 29 names I got on the list. So I've got a thing on my phone that I'll have to switch my phone off, well, switch the camera off and then do the thing. And then I'll be able to do the draw and figure out what it is. So what I'll do, I'll say ta-ra to you for now, and then when I bring you back, I'll have my cup of tea and I'll have the winning number. So I'm back. Now this is honesty for you. I wasn't clever enough to realise that Dave's only across the way with his tent, and he's got an iPhone as well, and obviously we've got connection to the internet. So I've done the draw on my phone, and out of the 29 numbers that I've got on a list at home on my laptop on an Excel spreadsheet, there's 29, as I said, and the winning number is number 6. Now I've no idea who number 6 is. Well, that Dave come up with a great idea of, well, once I told him I'd done it, was, oh, we can do it on my phone so we can actually film it happening. I thought about it for a bit, but then I thought that's a bit tight on the person who won the original one. So yeah, number 6, you'll find out who you are when I'm doing the editing of this video. And hopefully I'll get the hammock tent shipped off to you. And if it's not too far away, I can hopefully drop it off. Because I have got quite a lot of people who've subscribed to this channel are from the local area. I'm really hoping that I don't have to fork out a fortune and send it to somebody in America. But if it is someone from America, I'll get in touch with you and we'll come to some kind of deal, because I don't want to be skint at Christmas. It's quite windy. Now, because we're going to be shutting a tent and probably cooking inside a tent, I've not bought a big stove, so I've got 3 meals to choose from. What Dave's going to choose. So I've got dehydrated meal, which is the chicken tikka masala. I've got a beef stew, and then there's one what we've got no idea. It could either be, I think it was a chicken curry. And then there was a pasta bake. I really don't want to do the pasta bake because out of all of them, that was my least favourite. So I'll let Dave choose. Now, these boil in the bag meals were just normal meals that we've made these like, we've got these silver bags off Amazon. I'll put something in the link so that you can see what they are. And you just seal them up and then with a heat gun or an iron, just close them up and then use them as a boil in the bag. But it works quite well. What are you thinking?
This is the most liquidy.
Which one? That's the beef stew. I think it's crushed all the potatoes up. It is literally now like soup. Anyway, we'll start with that. Now the date on this, well, it says beef stew, 1st of October, 21. So 14 months old. I've not got 14 months old. I'm rubbish at my maths. Anyway, I'll get that going in a minute. So we're going to have a bit of a chin wag. The sun will set really quickly here, and I'll bring you back when I'm strapped to my tent warming this up. Well, the temperature's really starting to drop now, so coming in for a bit. We're going to go back outside when it starts snowing. But until then, get this tent shut up and see how this, can't see me, and see how the boil in the bag stuff's turned out. I've just leant on it, so it was a bit like soup before. I don't think there's anything solid in there just now. I might just have to drink it. Time to start doing my tea. So I'm going to do it in this Jetboil. Now, you've got to make sure if you're doing the boil in the bag like this is you don't let it boil dry, because otherwise you'll just have a big burny mess really. So I'm going to make sure that I don't put too much water in, because you don't want it to overflow either. That's just under half. So what I'll do is close that up. Well, this is the mealy chose. I don't think you'll be able to make it out, but there is some writing on there. You can just about see. But as I say, I made this in October, last October, not this October just gone. So what I'll do, slide it in there. Now I've got the smaller version of this, the Flash, and that's not quite small, big enough to do this. So I'm hoping this is going to be just fine. So let's get it lit. But we'll just keep our eye on it and don't let it go too hot. We were sitting outside having a chat and the temperatures started dropping quite quickly, so I thought it was time to come back in. The camera that you see on an iPhone particularly, it doesn't really do justice to how dark it is. So if I look outside there now, I've only been in for enough time to take my boots off and start that on, and it's already pitch black. So we've had a look at the weather, and it looks like the snow's going to be here in about an hour. So we'll get something warm inside us, and then we'll nip out and go have a look in the snow. So for that, I'm going to put my softy stuff on, so that the clothes I'm wearing now are going to be completely dry, so they can stay in the tent, because I intend wearing them tomorrow. And then the softies, I can go out in a little bit of the snow, shake that off, and that'll be okay, because I don't intend wearing those. So it'll all be good. So that's bubbling away nice now. Give that another couple of minutes and then I'll be able to get something to eat. Try not to spill any of the water anywhere. Yeah, that's plenty warm. So I'll turn this off. And the beauty with this is, because they're food quality bags, I can use this to make a brew with. So pop the lid back on, just in case I'm clumsy enough to knock it over. Now, what I've got to do is find a big long spoon. Now, the benefit of the big long spoon is, I'm sure all of you know already, that the length of these bags is longer than a normal spoon. So if you're going to have, trying to get the light in the right place, if you're going to use these kind of meals, you don't want to get the food all over the back of your hands. So I'd invest in a long spoon. Anyway, so these bags already come with a bit of a tear slip on them. So what we'll do is we'll give them a tear. Don't have any rubbish left over at the end of the day. Try to get into it. Oh, my hands are cold. Okay. It smells really good. So in there, I don't know if you'll ever be able to see it, but in here, not really, What I've got is a mixture of steak, carrots, peas, potatoes and onions. Now remember, this has been in the freezer now since October 2001, and we're now what, the 8th of December 2022. Let's give it a shot. Still tastes fine. The texture of the carrots is a little bit different, but yeah, that's fine. I don't think it's going to fill me up for the whole night. However, I've now got the real term dehydrated one, or the mystery bag. So I think when we settle down for the night properly, I'll have the mystery bag as my supper. Anyway, I'll bring you back when we go outside if it snows. A few hours later, the wind's picked right up and I'm hungry. So I had the first one, which is the beef stew. Now this one is one of two things. I can't tell what it is. Now it's either the pasta bake or it's a chicken curry that I've done, or it might even be some more of that beef stew. I just haven't written on what it is. I can't tell what it is by feeling because they've been in the freezer for so long, so when they defrost they tend to go a little bit more mushy, so I'll remember that. So next time I won't put so many carrots in, because the carrots were a little bit strange texture wise, but the potatoes and peas and onions were fantastic. So that's the one to learn from next time. So I'm going to push all this down to the bottom. Now if I'm honest, I don't want it to be the pasta bake, because out of all of them that wasn't my favourite. There wasn't enough meat in it. It just tasted like eating tomatoes. Anyway, pop this in there. So we're done. I think there's a hailstorm coming through right now because it's quite loud and very sharp sounding. And yeah, you can see the odd little hailstone on the grass. Anyway, the moment of truth for this one is I'm going to take it out carefully. Can you hear that? Put that to one side. Now, I don't want another drink just yet, so I'm not going to use that water for that. I've got plenty of cold water for drinking the night. But I think the moment of truth is to see what this is. Now, as I say, I really don't want it to be the pasta. Oh, that's quite hot. So let's get her open. Okay. Put my rubbish away. Wow. It's the pasta. I was really hoping it was the chicken curry. But you can have a seat. So inside here I've got, it's like a spaghetti bolognese mix with them pasta spirals in. I'll give it a try, see if it's any better than what I can remember it. To be fair, I remembered it a little bit worse than what it is, so it's actually not all that bad. But yeah, well, the benefit of these things is you can make them to be your own taste. But Yeah, I think I need to do a little bit more work on when I make a pasta one. However, can't fault it. Quite tasty, but I think because I've been looking forward to a curry so much, I think I've built my hopes up. Anyway, I'm gonna get eating this and watch a little bit more of the World Cup. So this will be the last shot for tonight, so I'll see you in the morning. Ta-ra! I told you the wind would pick up a little bit. It's not too bad as yet, but there are a few gusts where the tent goes in and then pops itself back out again. But yeah, not seen any of the snow yet either. But temperature outside's just hovering around freezing. It's a little bit warmer in here. Anyway, time to get some sleep. See you tomorrow. I normally watch them videos when you see people coming out and camping deliberately when it's like daft windy like this, and think, what are they playing at? And I think I'm right. It's not brilliant when it's like smack. Some people must love it, but me, nah. I think I'd prefer being in a hammock or something, because I don't think it'd be half as bouncy as this. Anyway, try and get a bit more sleep. So this is a hailstorm in northern Scotland in the winter. Morning. Well, that was a noisy, rattling night. Sometimes my tent felt like it was wearing it as a hat. Wind really picked up. We're in a cove between the cliffs, as you've seen, so the wind just really got channeled up this because it was a northerly wind. Quite a lot of heavy hail in the night, not much snow, but you can hear it's raining now, so I'll get all the internal bits of the tent put away and then just smash the top of the tent in its bag and get away as quick as we can. Anyway, let's get sorted. That off. Well, it's quite nippy this morning. All I've got to do now is get the tent down and then we can get gone. So let's get that done. So we're all packed up, and the only thing we're going to leave here is little hexagons of hailstones that hit the tents in the night. I was expecting there to be some snow, but being as we're so close to the coast, we were quite unlucky. Anyway, it's time for us to make our way home. So stick with the video, because when I get home, I'll be able to find that Excel spreadsheet and tell you who's won the giveaway. So stick around, probably only a couple of minutes more. See you in a bit. So here I am back at home. So that's the random number generator that spat out number 6 for the winner. And if you look at the list of the names that I had when I set off, the 29 names, and number 6 is Robbie's Outdoor Adventures. So Robbie, I'll be firing you a message so we can figure out where you are and how to get this tent to you. So congratulations. And for everybody else, I've got one more tent that's going to be given away in a couple of weeks' time over Christmas. So until then, hit like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!